To formally open this conference, it is my privilege to invite Mr. Tlaugsuring Pitrang, Governor of the Bank of Mongolia, to deliver the opening address and keynote speech. Please join me in welcoming Governor Tlaugsuring.
Distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, and ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to Mongolia. On behalf of the Central Bank of Mongolia, I would like to extend very warm greetings to each of you. We are truly honored to host this amazing group of policymakers, economists, and leaders from around the world. Your presence shows that we all recognize the same thing. The global economy is entering a new and unpredictable phase, shaped by political tensions, trade patterns, and ongoing supply shocks. This conference comes at just the right time, I think. It gives us a chance to learn from each other, talk about how these global changes are affecting our monetary and fiscal policies, especially in countries like ours and that are exposed to external pressures. By sharing practical experiences across regions, I hope we will walk away with the new ideas to help us strengthen our economies and keep financial systems stable and grow in a more sustainable way, even in a more divided world. These challenges are far too big for any one institutions to tackle alone. That's why staying connected and learning from each other is so important. If we keep the conversation open and honest, we will all be better prepared to handle what lays ahead. Let's take a moment to look at what's going on around us. The global economy is changing fast and not in small ways. What used to be the rare supply-side disruptions are now happening more often and in more complex ways. We were seeing the effects of political conflicts, climate events, trade issues, pandemics, and tech shifts all at once. These are putting pressure on global production, transportation, and prices. At the same time, the structure of global trade is evolving. Value chains are being rebuilt to focus more on resilience and regional ties. That means central banks today are dealing with a very different world, where supply-side issues play a bigger role than ever before in shaping both the economy and financial systems. The impacts are wide-reaching. On one hand, supply shocks are making inflation more volatile and growth less predictable. On the other hand, sudden shifts in things like commodity prices or capital flows can create instability, essentially for smaller or resource-dependent countries. Adding exchange rate swings and uneven policy response around the world, and it is clear we were operating in much more complex environment. For our central banks, this means we need to sharper tools, more flexible policies, and stronger global cooperation. The friends and colleagues, as we have seen, we were all facing the world that's changing fast and unpredictable ways. Whether it's due to geopolitics, trade disruptions, energy shifts, and climate change or tech advances, supply-side shocks are forcing us to rethink how we do our job. That means taking the fresh look at our mandates, our policy tools, and how we communicate with the public. And I'd like to touch on three main areas. The first, we have rethink our mandates. Over the past 2 decades, central banks have had to adapt to many challenges. Now we were at another crossroads. Should our mandate evolve again? Inflation targeting has helped us a lot, but we were realizing that might be not enough to deal with issues like financial instability. Some experts, like Claudio Borio from the BIS, have suggested that we need to bring financial stability more directly into our frameworks. In many countries, like central banks, central banks already work toward goals that beyond just price stability, like employment and economic growth. In today's environment, we were asking to help build a broader resilience. But we need to find the right balance to make sure we maintain the trust and confidence of the public. And of course, we need to make sure our toolkits are up to the task. Interest rates, balance sheets, policies alone may not be sufficient to address today's challenges. We need to use macroprudential measures, liquidity tools, and wider mixed policies. Most importantly, I have to be honest about what monetary policy can and cannot do. Clear and transparent communication is key to keep public trust. Second, we also need to refine how we design our policies. One big challenge is figuring out whether supply shock is temporary or long-term. That is really hard to know in real time. But it matters a lot. We have to monitor how these shocks affect inflation expectations too. To handle this, we need to better data, better analysis, and better communication. As for the data, reliable, timely data is essential, but many of us still face gaps, especially in smaller or emerging economies. We should work on real-time indicators and collaborate more with partners. On tools, the old models don't always fit today's complex world. We should explore new methods like scenario planning, sensitivity testing, or even machine learning to better understand what's happening. As for communication in times of uncertainty, how we communicate becomes even more important. It is not just about explaining our decision. It is also about the guiding expectations and building trust. Being more about the risks, being open about the risks, challenges, and limits is key. And finally, monetary policy can do it all. When shocks come from the things like pandemics or trade issues, coordination between monetary and fiscal policy becomes really, really important. Well-designed fiscal policies can help address problems that monetary policy alone cannot fix. But at the same time, central bank must stay independent. Especially in times of political or geopolitical pressures, we need to protect that independence while still working constructively with fiscal authorities. Let me say a few words about how all this looks from Mongolia's side. As a small, open, and resource-rich economy, we were highly sensitive to changes in global markets and commodity prices. Shocks can hit us quickly and hard, affecting inflation and financial stability. That's why international cooperation and dialogue are so important for us. Whether it's managing exchange rates, capital flows, or inflation, we have a lot to gain from working closely with other central banks and policy experts. There are no easy answers here, but by sharing ideas, experiences, we can help each other build resilience and stability. Before we begin, I want to quickly walk you through the 4 main sessions of this conference. Well, we will start by looking at how changing trade patterns and value chains are reshaping the global economy. Our first session will be focused on the impact of the trade disruptions, essentially in Asia and other open economies as global production network just growing geopolitical and economic challenges. Next, we will dive into the challenges central banks face when inflation is driven by global supply shocks. We will explore how to respond while staying credible and effective. In our third session, we will zoom out to the big picture, how new technologies and climate efforts are transforming the economy, and how we can ensure these changes create opportunities, not deepen inequality. Lastly, we will discuss what the future might hold for global economic and financial system. With the rising geopolitical tensions and growing economic nationalism, we will explore what this means for global financial governance, multilateral cooperation, and the role of central banks in maintaining stability. I'm really look forward to the conversations and insights that will come out of these discussions. And finally, I hope all you enjoy your time here in Mongolia. I encourage you to take in your country's unique culture, in our country's unique culture, rich traditions, and warm hospitality, alongside the work we will do here. And I hope your visit will be rewarding both professionally and personally. Thank you very much. All the best to you.
Thank you, Mr. Governor.